Are there any Darkrealmers here with us today? If there are any Darkrealmers in this room, please let yourselves be known. A F K B R B A F K B R B. Oh, for fuck's sake, will you hurry up and get back? I've got a video to produce. G'day Darkrealmers, it's horror author and illustrator Michael J. Elliott here with you again today. And today we're going to be looking at a movie that actually turned out a lot better than the original movie. Now, I have to admit, Ouija, the original movie, must have been so bad or so forgettable that it's completely gone from my mind because I can't remember it. Honestly, Darkrealmers. And that's unusual because I have really good recall when it comes to movies. But it didn't do well, the original, so there weren't much hopes for this. But after you see the trailer, you may be assured that it did do well. Hey, if this is your first trip to the Diaries, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. And if you want some help in choosing the best horror movies and horror books from indie authors and indie producers as well as mainstream Hollywood, then hit the subscribe button and the bell notification and you'll always be on top. Okay, Darkrealmers, well, before I give you my thoughts on Ouija, Origin of Evil, take a moment and have a look at this trailer.
Let's begin. We invite you into our circle. If that's you, give us a sign.
This is a scam.
We do not attack the clients.
We help people. We give them closure.
You are so weird.
Does she have a lot of problems?
It's nothing too concerning.
What's this?
A Ouija board for work.
Spirit, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Who are you talking to?
What? Daddy. Are you there? Who are you?
Your sister's taking you to school today.
I don't want to go! I want to stay here and talk to my friends.
What friends?
I'll show you. Are you here?
Something is happening that we can't understand.
I'm concerned about your girl.
What's this about, Father?
What are you doing? I'm not doing it.
The spirit world is dangerous.
They were watching us all those years.
By using the board, you've opened up a portal.
Want to hear something cool?
Sure.
Do you know what it feels like to be strangled to death? First, you feel the pressure in your throat. And you start to taste something very sour in your mouth. Then, it's like someone lights a match right in the middle of your chest. And that fire grows. It fills your lungs and your throat and all the way behind your eyes. And the last thing you feel is cold. Good night, Romeo. It's just a game.
Well, Darkrealmers, that should have prepared you for what's in store if you watch this movie. Now, this movie started off with a budget of just $9 million, which is nothing for Hollywood, but it ended up taking in worldwide close to $80 million. And that was a reflection on how well this movie is made. Now, when I first watched it, and the Universal logo came up, straight away my brain said, hang on, something's wrong. That's the old Universal logo. And it looks all faded and crackly, and very clever trick by the director and the producer. Because the movie set in 1967, they gave the whole movie that 1967 feel, including the credits. And I thought that was really well done, because that really sets you up for the movie. Now, I think you'll agree that watching that trailer, young Lulu Wilso, who plays Doris Zander, is one of the creepiest kids you will ever see. And that particular scene where she talks about what's it like to be strangled, I tell you what, if I was waiting for, to go out on a date and that young kid said that to me, I'd be saying, leg, do your thing, and I'd be off, okay? Well, the story basically concerns Alice Zander, who's, a mother trying to bring up 2 children. And as you saw, she's a pretend spiritualist. And when her older daughter, Lina, starts questioning the morals of, aren't we really ripping off people, Mum? And she says, no, darling, we're bringing them closure, which is a nice way to say the end justifies the means, okay? But it's when Alice gets hold of a Ouija board and discovers that, hey, this could be even better. I could really do something with this, okay? And as you saw there, she sets it up so that the planchette will move according to magnets, okay? But it's when young Doris starts showing that, hey, I can use this, and Alice believes that her daughter has developed genuine psychic powers and genuine spiritual powers, that things get really, really creepy, okay? And of course, Doris is possessed by this thing, okay, that is taking control of her. But seeing her, being used by her mother, where she actually gets clients in and says, Doris, will you help this young, woman or this man talk to his dead wife? Yes. Do you really want to hear what she says? And she says the truth, and it's really, really creepy. Now, you saw that scene there where, the school bullies, which were introduced in a brief scene previously, try to hit her with a slingshot, and she just turns around to them, and the kid is forced to fire the stone into himself. That is one of the creepiest scenes, because it's no dialogue, it's apart from background dialogue, but the look on this of intensity on this girl's face. And of course, she's being picked on because they all know that her mother, is a supposed clairvoyant, and it doesn't help that she goes to a Catholic school where that's all frowned upon, okay? Now, this is a very, very good movie, Darkrealmers, especially by the young performer, Lulu Wilso, who plays Doris, because she does this child who goes from, just, I can talk to daddy and things like that, to being more dark and more malevolent, okay? It's, in fact, all the actors here are just wonderful. They are really, really good. Alice, or Elizabeth Reaser, who actually plays Alice, is just brilliant as the mother, who, she goes from this, it's all right, we're helping people, and then finding out her daughter's got, genuine powers that you'd think, wow, this is just, but she uses that to increase the money and things like that. And it's when Doris says, here's some money, Mum, and she finds a big stack of money and says, oh, it was in the basement in a room. And that's where we get the origins of where this malevolent being came from. Okay, Darkrealmers. Now, it's very much it's very much a prequel, and this sets it up for the first movie. So I'm really not sure how you should watch the Darkrealmers. Now, because the first movie was really lambasted by critics and moviegoers alike, you may watch that first and get put off watching the second one, but please don't, okay? So I'm really in two minds whether you should watch this first because it is a prequel and then watch the second one, because in one way or another you're going to be disappointed with the first, okay? What you're going to find is that if you watch it first, you're going to, oh, no, that was rubbish, you know. Oh, Michael recommended, you know, this one. Oh, I don't know. Or if you watch this first, you'll go, wow, that was creepy. That was just frightening. And then you're going to be disappointed that the first one's not. But they are separate movies, and you don't need to watch the first one. It's interesting to watch it just as a curiosity, Darkrealmers, because, as I said, nobody held up much hope for this movie. You know, after the first one, people thought, oh, do you really need to do a prequel? But this is wonderful, Darkrealmers. Now, I'm not going to give you any spoilers, as you know, about the events. You can get, as you saw from the trailer, some quick shots of some of the more scary aspects. But the ending on this is one that will genuinely creep you out. It's one that even I was totally unexpected. Okay, I just was not expecting this at all. And for me, because I do get a bit cynical with horror endings, because they tend to rely on things we all know and situations that sort of Hollywood set up for, so that it's like, yes, well, thank you for that end scene. You've just told us, yes, you're planning a sequel, or you're leaving the door open for a sequel. But this one is genuinely creepy. It does in some ways perhaps set itself up to say, hey, there could be another movie. Did you like this one? Well, I'd be really great if they could have the original director and the original scriptwriter do another of the Ouija movies. I think that it'd be great. But it's one of those ones where, apart from, you know, having different people get control of a Ouija board or get possessed by, you know, this ubiquitous being, it doesn't really lend itself to much different, except that you'd be using different characters, perhaps different time frames like this one. But this one is fantastic, Darkrealmers. It's really, really good. It doesn't rely on a lot of jump shocks, which I'm very grateful for. It's more knowing something's going to happen, and sometimes it doesn't, and that's just as scary. In a lot of ways, I find that much scarier, okay? When, you know, this little girl is getting more and more dark, and just her appearance, you know, hi, mummy. It's because we know what's going on, Darkrealmers, so, you know, just something innocent like that takes on a whole new meaning, okay? Now, I saw this movie on Netflix, so I really encourage you to watch it if you have Netflix or streaming services, because I'm sure it's on other streaming services. But, of course, as I always tell you, Darkrealmers, it's always also available on DVD and Blu-ray. And this is one that will really creep you out for a long, long time. And since we're getting closer to Halloween, I think this is one of the perfect ones to sit down with the popcorn, or what is it you guys have in America? Some sort of candy called candy corn, which I believe is absolutely horrible. Hey, if any of you Darkrealmers from America want to send me some to try, you know, purely for, you know, scientific and medical experimentation only, I'd be grateful. Okay. All right, Darkrealmers. Well, that's it from me, horror writer and illustrator Michael J. Elliott. I hope you've enjoyed this review of Ouija Origin of Evil. It's one of those movies that you really will love, okay? So don't forget, hit the subscribe button below. Leave us a comment if you've seen it. Is this one of your favourite movies? Has this inspired you to see it? Love to read your comments, okay? And until next time, Darkrealmers, as I always say, if you're going to use a Ouija board, do it under fluorescent lights so that you can stay in the light. Bye for now.